All right, so this is part two of my experience at the hospital. So where I left off before is that I was talking about what a pain it is to get out of bed, because you're hooked up to so many things. So last I was telling you is that I had the pain pump. They have that clipped with a clip to your Johnny, so you have easy access to it. And then on this hand, on this finger, they had some wire taped onto me, and it had a red light. It was like ET. And that, I'm trying to remember. And that was hooked into all the wires that went into the pocket of my Johnny. So yeah, it's really difficult to get out of bed on your own. The very first time I was like, oh my gosh, And so anyway, so they had to help me. And so I had to go to the bathroom, and I go in, I can't pee. I cannot pee. I sat there for I don't know how long, and it was like I could feel it. I had to pee, but it just wouldn't happen. So the nurse came and she said, well, sometimes, that happens when you have anesthesia, that it's hard to get that going again. So she had me go for a walk. We went for a walk around the hall, and then I tried again, and I still couldn't go. So, and she told me, if you can't go, we're going to have to, do a catheter on you and empty you out. So, and really at that point, I really didn't care, because it was like, it was so strange. It was like the pressure was there, like I have to pee, but I just couldn't make it come out. It was very weird. So they did end up doing the catheter on me, and the nurses, they were all so nice, every single one of them, except for the very last nurse. I did not like her. But yeah, they were all young and really great personalities, very bubbly and friendly, and really, really wonderful, except that last one, or Nurse Ratchet. So yeah, so they did the catheter, and then they just did it, just not, they didn't keep it there, they just did it just to empty, and then took it out. So and then through the night, it's they're coming by and checking your vitals, checking all the IVs, and they would come by to give me a shot of, I think it was blood thinner. I don't know. It's like when you're in there, it's like you don't even care. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Poke me wherever you need to. Do whatever the hell you want. One point they came by and they took blood, and yeah. So it's a lot of you don't get to rest for very long periods of time. I was quite surprised that well, okay, I am a stomach sleeper, so I was thinking, oh gosh, it's going to be really hard for me to sleep on my back, and it was kind of difficult. So at one point I thought, well, let me see if I can lay on my side, because that would be more comfortable for me, as long as it doesn't hurt. So I actually was able to do it. It was, it took a lot to maneuver into that position, because, you have to do things without using your stomach muscles. So you're like pulling yourself and with your arms, and like pushing yourself with your feet and lifting up your butt. And oh man, anyways, it took me like forever to get into that position, but I actually was able to do it, and it didn't hurt. I was really surprised. So, so yeah, I was able to sleep quite comfortably like that. But it was the strangest thing. Every time that I would close my eyes, even when I wasn't exactly sleeping, I would close my eyes, and like all these like weird, I'm just gonna call them dreams, because it was like these weird dream movies would play in my head. And all right, this hair is bugging me. See you later, pal. Yeah, it was kind of trippy, and so like sometimes I was like, I didn't even want to go back to sleep for a while, so I would stay up and I would read for a little bit. I really wasn't interested in watching TV, but I would read for a little bit, and so yeah, the night went by very slowly. I had a very nice roommate when I was there. I have no idea what she was in for, but she apparently had been there for quite some time. But while I was there, she apparently was making big improvements, because everybody that came in to see her, the doctors and nurses and whatever, were all saying, oh, you're looking good, and this is better, and that's better. So I hope she's doing okay. She seemed to be doing really well. She was super friendly. I couldn't have asked for a better roommate there in the hospital. She was a very, very nice lady. Okay, so we talked about the night. So in the morning, gosh, I cannot believe how fuzzy this is. It was just yesterday. It feels like it was kind of forever ago. Let's see. So yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So a little pinchy. So the morning came, and I knew in the morning I had to have. They were going to do two things. They were going to do a dye test where they have me drink some kind of blue dye, and then they wait for a period of time and they watch to see if it's in your, if any of it comes out in your drain, which is a bad sign because then that means that you have a leak. So a guy came by, really cute doctor. He came by with the blue dye. It was really funny. He spilled it all over the place, so he had to like go back and get some more. And it was the tiniest amount. It was in one of these. I think I have it over here. Hang on. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. So these little cups here, I would say it was like filled to like there. Can you see? I mean, like really, really tiny amount. And I was like, oh gosh, is it gonna taste really gross? So he's like, no, it tastes like water. And they always lie. But he actually didn't lie. It did taste just like water. It didn't taste like anything. So I drank that, and no big deal. That was actually like the first thing that I had since that I actually like swallowed all at once since surgery. Because from the time I was in the recovery room, you wake up and you're all dry and you have a sore throat, and they give you those the sponge on a stick. Which actually is very refreshing, and I did it quite often. So then the second thing that they were going to do, and it seemed like forever, I want to say that they didn't take me in for that until so the dye thing was at 6:30, and gosh, that other test wasn't until like 10 or something. So I was just kind of like laying around waiting for it. Finally I gave up. I went back to sleep. But they finally came to get me, and it was the swallow test. So they took me down to I don't know, x-ray, whatever it is, fluoroscopy or whatever they call it, and wheeled me in. Oh my goodness, excuse me, I've been very burpy. Very burpy. Anyways, okay, that's another topic. But so yeah, they wheeled me in. Everybody was so super nice. I loved it. And they explained to me what I was going to do. There's like a little step that you get up onto, and you're standing in front of this, like I guess it's a fluoroscope machine. It's kind of like a big x-ray machine, I guess, something like that. And they have you, he's like, you're going to stand up here and you're going to face front, then you're going to face slightly towards the right, and then you're going to face slightly towards the left. And you're going to hold the drink in your left hand over to the side, and then you're going to drink it when we tell you. And so I'm like, does this stuff taste really awful? And they're like, yeah. And they weren't lying. It tasted like tire soup. It was horrible, horrible, horrible. So I knew it was going to be bad. So I held my nose when I drank it. But then, you kind of have to release your nose after a bit, and then you actually taste it. And it's all gross. So, and it's the first thing that you're really drinking. It's like on your fresh little sleeve. And so they're like, and we, you always hear about you're supposed to sip, sip, sip things. So they're like, we don't want you to sip this because we're going to be here forever. We got to see this thing go down, and we got to see it go through your sleeve, and make sure that there aren't any leaks. And so he's like, so, we don't want you to take a big gulp, but we don't want you to sip it either. Just like a regular drink. And so yeah, it was like I took a sip, and they're like, keep drinking, and I'm like, oh. So I took another. Oh god, it was so bad. So anyways, I wasn't up there for very long, but that stuff, I mean, they made me take maybe 3 or 4 swallows of it. Oh, good Lord. So anyways, then they got me back down into the wheelchair, and then they like took off, um, kind of left me there. And meanwhile, it's like I'm like I start to get hot, and it's like, oh, this is not feeling good. So I yell out, I think I might get sick. So they come running out, and they gave me one of those little kidney shaped buckets. Um, and the lady was very calming. She was like, okay. She's like, breathe slowly, slowly, concentrate, mind over matter. And yeah, I mean, it was touch and go there, but I did not throw up, thank God. So, okay, so anyways, everything looked good. There was no leaks. They told me like immediately right away as I was drinking that horrible crap, that everything was good. So then after that, when, let me see, did they bring me something? Oh yeah, they brought me. I have it right here. Excuse me. Okay, so they brought me two of these little Poland Springers, and they gave me one of the little cups, and they said you can have 30 cc's, which is almost right to the top, of this every 15 minutes. We're not saying you have to have it every 15 minutes, but don't have more than one of these every 15 minutes. So, drink it when you want to. And they gave me a sheet of paper so that I could mark down when I did have it, because they needed to keep track of that for some reason. Oh yeah, and one thing else that they gave me is this spirometer. So it measures your lung capacity. Yeah, your lung capacity, and it's to help prevent pneumonia. Because yeah, you really don't want to inhale very deeply after surgery because of that. It kind of hurts because of the gas and everything. So anyways, they say that you're supposed to do this 10 times an hour. But between everything that's going on, like you get up to go to the bathroom, they're changing IV bags, they're doing it, it's like you're busy. You're kind of busy all the time. So, I would do it whenever I would remember. And I'm supposed to be doing it now at home. So I don't know, and I keep on marking with the little marker here, like at the last time that I took a breath, where it got up to. So I don't know. We'll see if we can see it here today. Ooh, that was a rock star. Look at that. I was way up there. All right. So let's see what else. Okay, so yeah, so I was cleared to drink things after the test. So they had the water, and then when lunch came, they gave me my bariatric portion. It was really funny. I think I saved the slip. Yeah. So they come out with 2 ounces of broth, 2 ounces of sugar-free Jello, and that was it. I mean, it's like they gave me this little tiny bowl, little bowl, and had the lid on it. It's like I open it up and there's like barely anything in there. But let me tell you, when I drank that, I was sipping little sips off of it. Oh, it tasted so fantastic. The Jello, however, I wasn't really into that. Hang on, I'm sorry, I gotta reposition here. I'm being a little pinchy. So yeah, and you know what the funny thing is? Right below 2 ounces of broth and 2 ounces of sugar-free Jello, they have written, no liquids half hour before or 1 hour after meals. Well, we were giving me liquid. I thought that was kind of funny. Anyways, whatever. So, yeah. So I only had like a couple little things of the Jello, and but I did finish all the broth. It was very good. And then soon after that, my surgeon came by, and it was funny. I hardly saw the guy. It was so funny, He comes, he peeks his head around the corner. Oh, actually, he did come to see me when I was in recovery. Oh my gosh, this is going to go into a third video, but I wanted to make sure I told you guys everything, and because everybody's experience is different, and I think that we all learn from each other's experiences. So, okay, we're going to go into a part 3. Sorry about that. I don't know who's going to keep on watching all 3 parts of this, but anyways, for those who want to, I'm doing it. All right. Okay, see you in a second.